Hello everybody, welcome to the end of week 2. I thought I'll do something new today. I'll record this video on our 360 camera here in our 5G lab. And the reason I'm doing it here actually is because a lot of the interesting discussions during this week on connectivity were around 5G. And there were a few questions, particularly around patents. So Andy and Miles discussed, why is a simplified hardware equivalent to lower cost? And the reason is really because, generally the more complexity you have in a device, the more patents are attached to that. And the easier the device is, the less complexity, the less patents, and therefore the lower the licensing fee. And so it becomes cheaper for us to roll out the technology. So within 3GPP, we're very interested to have devices as cheaply as possible in the field to essentially help the rollout story. Now, there was another interesting discussion around the uplink and downlink imbalance. So there's a lot of data going up in the Internet of Things today because we're sensing stuff. But don't be mistaken, there's a lot of the really active components coming within the Internet of Things. And these are drones, these are actuators, these are robots essentially doing things. And then we'll have a lot of downstream traffic coming, for which clearly the cellular infrastructure is really well placed. There were also some discussions around the Gartner predictions. So Gartner is predicting that a lot of Zigbee will be rolled out long term, at least by 2025. We'll still have a lot of dominance there. So I'm not quite sure about this. Remember, Gartner also predicted the dominance of Bluetooth. And indeed, a lot of billions of chips have been actually deployed today, but it's probably the most underused system on the planet because to make a link active, you need both ends active, right? So, and if just one of the ends is active, you don't have the link, and you don't have then an internet in that sense. So Bluetooth is a technology which everybody carries around. We have loads of chips rolled out, but most of the time it's actually switched off. Now, you also had some great ideas on business, on how to use the IoT infrastructure, how to really roll it out. And some of you said that there are actually difficulties of sharing the ideas. Well, that's true. That's a very human nature to, it's you're kind of really protective about the idea. You know what? I don't want to talk about this today. Wait until week 4. I actually recorded a podcast on precisely that issue to make sure you feel very comfortable with sharing your idea. Then, continue sharing on media platforms. I'd love you to actually see on Twitter Diego Fernando Marin, who posted a lot of really interesting tweets around applications of the IoT products around the globe. So please continue doing that. I'll be monitoring that, following the hashtag FLIoT. All right, that's it for end of week 2. I thought I'll just show you a little bit our lab here. So what you see on this end here, let me just go around. You can scroll this. When you watch it on YouTube, you can actually scroll around and you can follow me whilst I'm walking around. So on this end here, we have the software-defined radio equipment. It's all about reconfiguring radios onto commodity hardware radios. So we have Wi-Fi on here. We can port 3G, 4G, 5G waveforms, new IoT waveforms on here. And the reason this is in crates, I'm not sure you see that, is because the guy who's leading it, Oliver Holland, most of the time is on the roof. We do have software-defined networking equipment here, which is all about, again, porting essentially next-generation software onto routers and switches to make sure that we have an end-to-end software reconfigurable network. Also, here's an Ericsson base station. It's a commercial base station, so we can test a lot of things really in real time. Now, my engineers aren't here yet, but we're doing also some really interesting and related things related to the tactile internet, the next generation Internet of Things, and that's all about transmission of skill sets. You can't see that here, but here's, I want to show you one thing here, which relates to the actuation. So it's together with a company called Neuro Digital, very interesting Spanish company, which is able to reproduce touch essentially on my hand. So we're able now to emulate handshakes. I can feel rain dropping down there, or I can feel stuff during a surgery. So that type of stuff we're doing here within our 5G tactile internet lab. Well, so far so good. Greetings from here in London, and I'm looking forward to interact with you during week 3, which will all be about security, data, privacy. Very interesting week. You will love that. Loads of discussions ahead, I'm sure. And week 4 will be on entrepreneurship. Thank you very much and goodbye.